Last time, we finished pouring the concrete for our basement slab. We did this first so we have a strong base for our ICF bracing and scaffolding. With the scaffolding complete, we will finish the last few steps before calling in the concrete trucks to pour our ICF walls. Once the ICF walls are poured, we can finally start framing our dream home. Let's build a house.
Rough is 48, and I'm at 52.
So you can keep packing.
I've got room to bring it in. I was thinking about tying it together all the way to here.
Right.
But I got the 2x10 figuring, for now, if I embed 8 inches here as a rip, then I hold the next layer to the out.
Right.
I can get the window in. It's just a matter of how I pack the inside edge. Sort of like an extension jam.
Yep. All right.
But
so you got 2 more courses to go after this? Mm-hmm.
2 more after this.
All right.
Like Smitty said, to finish this ICF foundation, we have to continue 2 more courses of ICF blocks to reach the top of our 9-foot basement walls. Through every course of our ICF foundation, we ran horizontal rebar, but after the final course, we installed rebar every 18 inches for more vertical strength. Next, we braced every corner of the foundation with some 1x3 and more scrap wood from our sawmill. The corners of the foundation are the weakest and most susceptible to concrete blowouts. We went heavy on the bracing to ensure that there was no potential for catastrophe. We then had to ensure our crock pump was working properly and able to freely exit the foundation. Lastly, we had to remove the teeth or tongue and groove portion to the final course. Removing these will allow our floor joist to sit flush on a strong surface. With the ICF foundation complete, we worked the 4th of July to build the porch pier forms with sonotubes. We ensured they were all level and placed vertical rebar in them. These sonotubes will be filled with concrete the same day as the foundation. Alright, well, we finished up the foundation. We've got all the bracing and patching good and set up for the foundation pour. And our foundation is going to require about 40 yards of concrete, which if you don't know, it's about 5 full trucks of concrete. Now, the fear of today is that we're pouring this heavy concrete and it pushes out through the styrofoam form and creates a blowout, and all of the concrete that we've poured in there flows out that one point. So we feel good, we feel confident, and we're eager to get this started, but sometimes construction is a mystery, and we'll see what happens here. We're excited. I normally would start the music so you can enjoy the ICF pour, but this is the first ICF foundation Smitty has built. The process has been exciting and educational, but we've been nervous about having a blowout since we started. Take a look at Smitty's intensity. Now that Smitty is breathing again, and the first corner is holding well, let's get back to the fun. The guy to your bottom left was the concrete pump operator. He was in full control of moving the pump. The goal was to complete this pour in 3 lifts. That means filling up the ICF forms in 3 different laps around the perimeter. As the pump moved around incrementally, filling the forms, I used a concrete vibrator to ensure all of the concrete settled properly. Vibrators forced the trapped air out of the mixture, leaving the final product a more compact foundation wall. The ICF concrete pour went well. The walls are within 1/8 of an inch of where they need to be, no blowouts, and Smitty can breathe again. But instead of patting each other on the back, we ordered the steel and treated lumber to take the first steps in framing this house. The treated lumber bolted to the steel is our sill plate. This plate acts as a weather barrier and essentially anchors the house to the foundation. We will also add a sill plate to the entire perimeter of the foundation. Setting the steel on top of the foundation will allow us to start constructing the first floor system. We have 3 pieces of steel. 2 of them are 40 feet long. In order to set these, we had to notch out portions of the ICF so that they can sit at the same height as the foundation wall. There are multiple challenges with setting steel. Determining the best way to move the steel, we used a 6-foot choker. Next, determining the best location for the machine. And for me, keeping the steel parallel so we can set it easily.
Are you guys parallel?
No.
You guys make yourselves parallel. Don't fight it.
Okay.
Get parallel.
Dave, I'm going to pull a little bit to me. You get parallel, man. We'll suck it in. Suck it in?
Don't fight it.
Yep.
You can steady it in parallel. I'll put it in.
Yeah.
We decided to use steel in these 4 steel columns so we could use conventional lumber for our floor joists. If we went with less steel, no columns, and man-made TJIs, with lumber prices the way they are, we would have spent 3 times as much. Growing up, I would work with Smitty during my summer breaks. We would wake up early, it was always hot, everything was heavy, and my friends were probably at the pool enjoying ice cream from the snack bar. I didn't learn a whole lot about construction at that age, but I got an education on what working hard looked like. When I got to basic training, I felt prepared to work hard, and I quickly recognized the value of the people to your left and right going through the same thing. Working construction and serving in the military both require hard work, but it's always easier when there's someone on the other end of the board. Putting in the floor joists with Smitty is Dave. Dave also served in the Army in the 80s and was Smitty's right-hand man for 30 years until he retired this past fall. When he found out Amy and I were moving back to Pennsylvania to build a house with Smitty, he dusted off his tool belt and asked what day we were starting. Like I said, it's amazing how much easier this work is when someone's on the other end of the board. We're more than appreciative to have Dave with us, and he also completes a perfect decking team. To plywood this first floor efficiently, we started with Smitty marking layout every 16 inches to ensure our nails hit the joists. Next, Smitty would glue 8 foot of joists while I grabbed the sheet of plywood.
Then I would drop a sheet. Next, Smitty would seat the plywood into the tongue and groove, and I would tack the sheet at the corners. Then, Smitty would straighten the joists to ensure they were on our 16-inch layout. And Dave would come in and nail off the sheet. Lastly, we trimmed all the sheets that hung over the outside of framing.
It's official. We have a first floor.
Now that the first floor deck is on and the concrete has fully cured in the ICF, Smitty wants to backfill around the foundation. Before we can move dirt up against the foundation, we have to waterproof the exterior. With us watching every penny we're spending on this project, instead of calling back our excavator, we decided to rent a skid steer, a jumping jack tamper, and a trench roller. It was pretty straightforward. We would dump 4 to 5 bucket worths of fill and intermittently tamp the dirt to ensure the fill compacted properly up against the foundation.
Next time on Let's Build a House.
Tapping with my fingers.